One of the things that has really hit home recently, when I've been doing various bits of research, like anyone else who is of the fitness world, who really wants to strive and wants to learn off other people, because that's part and parcel of the best way, is what is utter bullshit and what is legit. Now, I've been looking at certain things and I've come up with, it's a theory, so take it for what it is. If one thing if for anyone to take away from this video in terms of what information do you receive off a personal trainer is legit and what isn't, I would suggest you just do that little bit of extra research yourself if there's a question mark behind it. Now, again, I'm not going to start, pointing fingers at certain individuals. There's no point. I don't want to say illustrate people from certain businesses because, again, that's no point. That's not what I'm in this business for. What I'm here for is for the main debate, basically help people get the goals that they want to do and things that the aims that they want to achieve, help advise, etc., changing plans, while mixing it up and giving them as much as an opportunity as they can to hit the targets that they fundamentally wanted to do. The problem is when you go online, it's the certain individuals that you see, and certainly from a fitness background that I've got, and I'm sure many people would understand, is the utter crap that they come out with. And there's a couple of little things that I've sort of picked up on. One being, the main one is that there's two types of people. And again, it was from a TED talk that I saw. And we're very much of the ilk, human beings at the moment, of there's two types of people. There's the reality, the one behind the actual camera that you see now as I am talking to you. The other one is the social media person who just always is about the positivity and is serving you the curveballs, because how many times out of 10 do you ever really see a PT really put things down, really put it on the negative? You don't, okay? They tend to just start thinking about and throwing a huge flipping words like mad about metabolism. They're going like based on metabolic rate, they're going thermogenesis adaptation, as I've done, and people are there going, what the fuck are you on about? What are you talking about? You don't make any sense, because the everyday person just wants to know, right, what do I need to do? I want to lose weight. What calories do I need to do? Bosh, tell me where to go. There's two things, like I said. There's a couple of individuals that I've seen. One was saying about, in terms of losing weight, that actually want to sort of temporarily put yourself into a surplus before going into deficit. They're not taking into account the person that's talking to. And it's easy enough from the person where they're doing it, when the trap that most people fall into then is when they watch the individual doing it, they're looking at them absolutely shredded to hell. Absolutely shredded to hell. Eyes are bulging out of the flipping heads. All right, they are ripped to high heaven. They give it the big one. They show clips of themselves eating and treating themselves with this, that, and the other. That is the social media person. To top it off as well, conveniently, one individual was looking at it with a nice little, and they might as well have been in the bloody Grand Canyon. The backdrop that they had, doing the exercises over one of those flipping weird, wonderful swimming pools that, like, the mirage had disappeared, that it looks as if you're going over a cliff off of flipping Niagara Falls or something like that. It's there to lure you in, because the exercise that they're doing, the physical state that they're doing, and therefore because of that and the wonderful backdrop that they've got, and they look all happy-go-lucky, that therefore whatever they're doing must work. Then you throw into the fact that the person you don't see behind the camera, the person who is, no way in my life could I ever be like that individual. They will be eating very little. They will not be happy in terms of what they do. They do not have, and I've told them before, cheat days or not cheat days. You pick out your 7 days in terms of what your calories are, and if you know you're going to have a heavy day later on in the week, you even it out and give yourself a little extra deficit on one day to equate that later on. That's your cheat day. Just beware in terms of when people say it to them, they're just saying it to anyone to try and lure them in for the actual recipe that they want you to try and buy and the product that goes with it. Be careful. Just don't get drawn into all the fancy, wonderful things. I've got a bloody green door behind me. Now, that doesn't suddenly mean that I'm trying to play Jedi mind tricks with you and giving you all the crap that actually, he's a pretty standard bloke. You can take it for what it is. You can ignore everything I say. It's entirely up to you. You're an adult, whoever it is, or a kid, whoever wants to understand what it is that you're going through. But when you do have the product, make sure when the person's talking about certain things, if you don't understand it, perhaps consider a bit of research or look for alternatives in terms of what other people are saying. But categorically speaking, if you're in one of those people who's an everyday who's overweight, the last thing you want to have told to you is go into a surplus in order for you to build up the calories to then start shredding things down in order for you to hold off muscle mass. flipping heck, lose the weight first. You can build the muscle afterwards quite comfortably. There are different ways to do that so you don't become an absolute flipping pipe cleaner arms. Who cares? If you want to hit the goal initially, you find yourself a goal, one you can hit, enjoy it, get to it, and then take it from there to another goal, because life at the end of the day is all about several goals that you don't have. It ain't just about one. So that is just something, food for thought, when you're listening to information off the internet.